Welcome to the Mahoning Valley Historical Society's 2021 Historic Preservation Awards. I'm Lindsay McCoy, anchor for WFMJ Weekend today, and I'm very happy to be hosting the Historical Society's celebration of outstanding local revitalization efforts. MVHS is delighted to resume this year's program after being unable to conduct the 2020 awards and its annual in-person ceremony, all due to those uncertainties and public health restrictions from the COVID-19 pandemic. MVHS has been committed to preserving the history of the people of the Mahoning Valley for over 145 years. And it hopes that by having its annual membership meeting and award ceremony in a hybrid fashion, socially distanced on site at the Tyler History Center, as well as telecommunicated via Zoom, that it will allow its members to conduct the organization's business and enjoy this year's Historic Preservation Award winners in a safe manner and really close to normal tradition. First, let's get a refresher on the award categories and criteria for the nominations. The first of our three categories is the Community Revitalization Awards. This category includes residences, sacred landmarks, public buildings, landscape preservation, or historic landmark projects. Next, we have the Commercial Revitalization Awards. This category includes individual, corporate, nonprofit, or association projects in commercial type buildings and sites. And our final category is the MVHS Board of Directors Awards of Achievement. This includes merits for individuals, professionals, corporations, nonprofits, and local governments in advocating for historical preservation. All the winners in the past since our first awards in 2005 can all be found right on the MVHS website. Now, how are our winners selected from the nominations? Well, the basic criteria is local geography, age of the structure or site, and project completion date. The critical and more nuanced criteria are that the project must also have involved preservation, restoration, rehabilitation, renovation, and/or adaptive reuse of a historic building, multiple structures, site, or district. Furthermore, the project must demonstrate a high quality of planning, design, material selection, implementation, and follow-through. The nomination deadline was Friday, April 30th, 2021, and the judging took place in early May. Winners and the media, they were notified in late May, which is the National Historic Preservation Month, believe it or not. And with this video presentation, MVHS officially recognizes and celebrates the 2021 recipients. Okay, let's meet the judges now. Our panel of 5 distinguished judges include Dr. Thomas E. Leary. He's the director of the Applied History Certificate Program at YSU. Armed with a doctorate in American Civilization from Brown University, he has also worked as a museum curator and a private consultant in the field of industrial heritage. Dr. Martha Palante received her BA from Youngstown State, her MA in History Historic Archaeology from the College of William and Mary, and her PhD at the University of Pennsylvania, specializing in early American history. And she joined YSU in 1991. She became the chair of the history department in 1999, and then in June of 2019 was named the interim dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences. She currently holds the Charles Darling Endowed Chair in American Social and Cultural History. Mark C. Paco is the editor and publisher of the Metro Monthly. It's a local news and events magazine based here in Youngstown. Paco has a master's degree in historic preservation planning from Eastern Michigan University and a bachelor's degree in English from Youngstown State. While the president of the Northside Citizens Coalition, he led a successful effort to bring 55 new homeowners into the north side of Youngstown. Rebecca Rogers has 45 years of preservation experience in planning, historic landscapes, and architecture. Get this, she has completed more than 25 National Register nominations in Ohio, West Virginia, PA, and Indiana, and she was a member of the Ohio Historic Sites Preservation Advisory Board from 1991 to 2002 and chair for 2 years. Norma J. Stefanik has a Master's of Architecture and Bachelor's of Fine Art. She was the project architect for the Loghurst Museum, House Museum restoration and the B&O train station adaptation. And more recently, she also served as a preservation consultant on local projects. MVHS thanks all of our judges for their years of experience and expertise and their dedicated volunteer hours to help give deserving recognition to preservation projects right here in the Mahoning Valley. Now it is time to announce this year's winners in the Mahoning Valley Historical Society's 2021 Historic Preservation Awards. Okay, the work of the preservationists reflects countless hours of historical research, expertise in materials and design, and mindfulness of modern-day functionality, coordination with various specialized contractors, and management of budgets and schedules. It's a lot, and above all, a love and respect for what restored buildings, sites, and neighborhoods mean to our community. Now, aside from our pandemic pause in 2020, Mahoning Valley Historical Society has given its recognition to organizations and individuals for over 70 outstanding local projects since 2005. And this year, we are recognizing 5 outstanding preservation efforts, 2 Community Revitalization Awards, 2 Commercial Revitalization Awards, and 1 Board of Directors Awards of Achievement. Our first Community Revitalization Award goes to the Monastery at 1810 Volney Road in the South Side neighborhood of Youngstown, Ohio. The property owner is Youngstown Neighborhood Development Corporation. The project designer was Ron Faniro of Faniro Architects, and the project nominator was Tiffany Sokol, YNDC's housing director. Originally built in 1927 as a single-family home for Emery McKelvey, the structure was later used for decades as a Carmelite monastery and worship center led by Father Richard Madden. He was an organizer and a spiritual leader who fought to keep the monastery open for people of Youngstown during a time of great social and economic hardship following the collapse of the local steel industry. C.C. Bursch, the last resident and caretaker of the center, sought to ensure that the property would continue to serve as an asset to the community. With the support of the property's trustees, it was donated upon her passing to YNDC, and the property was rehabilitated into a neighborhood action center, providing community meeting space and 3 market-rate housing units. Historical and architectural significance were preserved while modernizing the HVAC systems for the new apartments. In addition to restoring bathroom tile and refinishing wood flooring, energy-efficient windows matched and replaced original wood windows. MVHS honors the project with the Community Revitalization Award.
On behalf of the Youngstown Neighborhood Development Corporation, I'd like to thank the Mahoning Valley Historical Society for presenting us with this award for 1810 Volney Road, which many of you likely know better as the Monastery. This property was used for decades by Father Madden as a ministry center and community organizing hub here in the Idora neighborhood, and we are so grateful to C.C. Bursch and Alan Setz and the remainder of the trustees here who sought to continue his legacy by donating this property to YNDC. I also want to thank our Executive Director Ian Beniston and our Neighborhood Stabilization Director Jack Doherty for having the vision to renovate this property and see its continued use as an asset in this neighborhood. I want to thank our architect Ron Faniro for taking our vision and putting it to paper, and certainly to our team who brought this project to life, to Mike and Tom and Jeff and Josh and Pat and Pete, who did all of the construction work here. We certainly couldn't do any of the work that we do without those guys. I also want to thank all of the funders who funded this project. We had over 300 individuals make donations to this project, including the Youngstown Foundation and the Walter and Caroline H. Watson Foundation. And last but not least, I want to thank the community in which this project resides. Certainly we couldn't do this without the support of the Idora Neighborhood Association and all of the neighbors. This is really a win, not just for YNDC, but for this whole neighborhood, and we're so grateful for all of your support.
Our second Community Revitalization Award goes to the Mahoning County Courthouse exterior, located at 120 Market Street in downtown Youngstown, Ohio. The project owner is the Office of the Mahoning County Commissioners, including Commissioners David C. Ditzler, Anthony Trafficani, and Carol Remedio Righetti, Clerk of the Board Nancy LeBoy, and Purchasing Director James Fortunato. Norma J. Stefanik served as a consultant for this, and the project was also consulted on and nominated by Paul J. Raschuti. The lead project designer was MS Consultants and included Prospectus Historic Architecture and Barber and Hoffman Consulting Engineers and the Architects Incorporated. The second Renaissance revival structure was designed by the prominent local firm of Owsley and Boucherel and constructed by George Caldwell and Lester Drake between 1907 and 1910, quite a while ago. It was the successor to the original county courthouse, which was located at Wick Avenue and Wood Street. The original materials of granite, terracotta, and copper were restored in various parts of the building exterior. Targeted areas included the roof, gutters, light wells, and the front stairs. And also included in this restoration phase were the pedestals for the sheet copper statues that received a 2018 Historic Preservation Award, you may remember. Now, the project's entire exterior granite and terracotta were power washed. MVHS honors this project with the Community Revitalization Award.
I want to thank the Historical Society for giving us this award again for the exterior of our courthouse, which is over 100 years old. I have to thank Paul Raschuti for nominating us. Paul was our architect on staff for this mission that started in 2012. And till now, we have the most important part is we received another award for the most beautiful building in the state of Ohio. I also want to thank Norma Stefanik, who is also a partner on this project, Jimmy Fortunato, who is our purchasing director and who also worked very hard on this project. The three commissioners, Dave Ditzler, Anthony Traficani, and myself, who worked with our team to make this a go. And we have the most beautiful courthouse in the state of Ohio, thanks to all the people involved in making this the best. If you look up to the courthouse exterior, you will see the terracotta we had put in. Original materials were used in the courthouse restoration, whether it be marble, terracotta. We had the lights redone to its original look. The clock on the courthouse has also been redone. So we have done many things with this team we have in place with MS Consultants, and there's so many other people, Audrey Tillis, our administrator. It just goes on. And I really want to thank the Historical Society for awarding this to us again. Thank you. We are so appreciative to have people notice what we have here in Mahoning County. Thank you again on behalf of my commissioners, Dave Ditzler, myself, and Anthony Traficani.
And our first Commercial Revitalization Award goes to the Eastern Gateway Community College, located at 101 East Boardman Street in downtown Youngstown, Ohio. The property owners are Western Reserve Port Authority and Eastern Gateway Community College. The project designer was Paul Hagman of RBF Collab and was nominated by Arthur Daly, Senior Vice President at Eastern Gateway Community College. This structure was built in 1920 for the East Ohio Gas Company, which used the lobby as a payment location for the general public. In later years, that location was known as the Harshman Building. And on the ground floor, its expansive corner windows flooded the space with natural light. EGCC's open classrooms were a natural fit for this adaptive reuse project. During the construction phase, decorative plaster friezes and columns were discovered throughout the first floor, having been entombed during the previous renovations. And the new owners agreed to celebrate the history of this structure by retaining those elements and exposing them once again. In addition, much of that exterior work was conducted to repair years of deferred maintenance and almost a decade of 100% vacancy. The roof was entirely replaced, exterior stonework was inspected, pointed and cleaned, and new lighting was installed to show it off. And with the completion of the second floor remodel in December of 2020, additional classrooms and office completed the multi-year project. The complete remodel of this building adds to the renovations taking place inside EGCC's adjacent Thomas Humphreys Hall. MVHS honors this project with the Commercial Revitalization Award.
My name is Anthony Trevine. I'm with the Western Reserve Port Authority. And I'm Arthur Daly with Eastern Gateway Community College.
We are honored to be here today and accept this award on behalf of Eastern Gateway and the Port Authority. We're here in front of this building that just celebrated its 100th birthday. This project truly started as a community project. The Port Authority staff, under the direction of our lead engineer, Randy Partika, we looked at the building and saw great potential in putting it back into productive use. We reached out to a local architect, Paul Hagman, our dear friend, who helped us design the project. We also worked with Brock Construction as well as Declan Construction, and we want to thank those participants in this project. We especially want to thank our board of directors at the Port Authority and our executive director, John Moliterno, for empowering us to be able to take on this project on behalf of our community.
We knew when the Port Authority came to us and talked about expanding our footprint in downtown Youngstown, we thought this project was the perfect one to build and grow the 21st century workforce. We want to thank the Port Authority, our Board of Trustees, our President Michael Gagan, and all of them who supported us during this endeavor.
Our second commercial revitalization award goes to Island and String Life Enhancement, Inc., also known as ISLE World Headquarters, located at 28 and 32 Fifth Avenue in downtown Youngstown. The property owners are Jimmy Sutman and Jill Perencevic. The project designers were Anthony Santangelo and Jill Perencevic. Meg P. Calvaruso nominated the project. And the buildings are believed to have been built sometime between 1901 and 1905 for the owner, Reynold Moltari. It housed a window display manufacturing company. This adaptive reuse project, completed between 2016 and 2019, was thoughtful to every fixture, floor molding, millwork, and brick that could have been saved. And the overall design aesthetic incorporated the old with the new here, and the major areas of the roof were really the focus: structural repairs to the staircase and supports, elevator and electrical and plumbing, all windows and storefront, sandblasting of original brick, and installation of a new parking lot. They did a lot here, and the ISLE World Headquarters now serves those with special needs through staffing, transportation, vocational training, and day programming at this rehabilitation center. MVHS honors this project with the Commercial Revitalization Award.
All right, thank you so much for this wonderful award. Thank you, Mahoning Valley Historical Society. I can't say enough about all the great work that you do. You know, we're Youngstowners, we take a punch, and we took a lot of punches when we were doing this program, this project, but we can do it. And I think it's just the beginning. There's a lot more that's ahead for us. We want to thank the City of Youngstown for investing in this corridor. I want to thank Farmers Bank for helping out with the project, but most especially I want to thank our internal group. Jill Perencevic for the design, Anthony Santangelo, head of our director, is our maintenance director, Louis and Square, all of our folks that believed in this. You know, we could have went for typical office space in the suburbs. We were pushed in that direction. It was a lot harder to take an old building that we roughly paid $40,000 for and turn it into what we did. So we appreciate the recognition. Just know that our heart beats here in downtown Youngstown, and we'll always be here. And we're going forward to helping individuals with disabilities with our heart beating in downtown Youngstown. We love the history of it all, and we hope to continue to have projects here. But again, thank you so much.
As a special recognition, we announced the Board of Directors Award of Achievement. It goes to Joseph Pedeline. The nomination was made by Aaron Timms. While having a career in heating and cooling systems, Joseph Pedeline began renovating and preserving homes over on Youngstown's north side back in 1987. In total, he secured 16 properties there and an additional 3 structures on the east side that were part of his family's compound. Pedeline was known for his colorful paint schemes, which may have been driven more by economic choices. As the nominator empathized and reasoned, quote, "Prior to my own purchase of a historic property, I found it easy to criticize these decisions without reflecting on the cost and unfeasibility of preservation projects in economically challenged communities. Limited budgets and lack of financial incentives to offset project costs through local and state governments are often driving factors in preservation projects." Now, in addition to residential properties, Pedaline owned and completed renovations on 4 commercial buildings, including the B&O station, Amy's Campus 2000, which is Commonwealth Kitchen Incubator and Cafe, and the former Bixler Bakery Complex over on West Avenue and Marshall Street. Aaron Timms went on to say, quote, Joseph Pedaline invested in Youngstown at a time when few people would take the risk. His actions created changes in the neighborhood and are still being felt today. While many can criticize his methods, few have been able to achieve what he was able to contribute to Youngstown's historical landscape. And MVHS honors this person with the Board of Directors Award of Achievement.
Hi, Joe Pedaline, standing in front of my last project. It's the Bixler building. It was built in 1903. The second edition was put on in 1915. I've converted into 9 different art studios, around 2,000 square feet each. Some are a little bigger. And I've worked on that for 13 years or so. Before that, I did the B&O project with my partner, Robert Arroyo, and we turned that into a restaurant and a brewery. Before that, we did 901 Elm Street, which we called Amy's Campus 2000. And we turned that into a restaurant and nightclub as well. Before that, I had apartments on the north side, and I actually lived in one for a year up on Fairgreen, and it was a duplex, and I renovated that, and then I connected with a realtor who was doing repossessions, and I just started buying building after building. The nicest one probably was the Laura building, which is a 3-story building, and at the time it was a crack-infested neighborhood that I started bringing my Belize colors back and started painting them various colors just to let it know that this neighborhood is changing. And that's what I worked at and worked for a long period of time.
And that concludes our recognition of the winners in the 2021 Historic Preservation Awards program. We congratulate all of them for their outstanding efforts and commitment to the Mahoning Valley's cultural heritage. Now, if you know of a historic preservation project that has not been previously honored, MVHS encourages you to nominate it next year for one of our awards. And our call for nominations generally will go out during the first quarter of 2022. We have no time limits on the awards, so a project can be eligible even if it was completed well before the current year. And finally, we would like to thank our awards sponsors, First Place Community Fund and a component fund of the Community Foundation of the Mahoning Valley. We are grateful to all who have contributed to the awards program and this video presentation. And thanks to all for watching and celebrating the preservation of the Mahoning Valley history.